Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dovetails and Dados first episode, Building a Viking Chair. This is the first part of a multi-part series about getting kids in the wood shop. I just want to take some time and show you guys easy projects for kids to work on. Like I said, this is a Viking chair. Our lumber starts out with a 2x10 by 8. So we have 1.5 inches by 9 1/8, 9 1/4 inch wide board, and we've sectioned it up into two pieces at 30 inches. The first step is to make the cuts at 30 inches. Alright everyone, I got my two chunks cut to 30 inches length, and now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what kind of angle we want this Viking chair to sit at. As you can tell, I've propped up one side of the seat and the legs, which is what that will end up being. I'm going to grab my pencil, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of lean the back to an angle that we think would be comfortable to sit in. And then you take your pencil and you make a mark on the top, and then you mark the bottom underneath at that same angle. And what that gives us are two lines that tells us what the seat angle is going to be. So once we've done that, I'm going to make that a little darker just so it's easier to see. We are going to turn that board on edge, and we're going to come in about 2.5 inches, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, it doesn't really matter, off that line, so that we can cut along that line. Same thing on the back. You're going to want to transfer those measurements to the back. And once we get the first one cut, we'll be able to transfer those dimensions over to the other side of the chair. You draw a straight line across those two, and then you take your handsaw and you will start cutting down those lines on the angle. And you'll cut down to the bottom of the line that you've marked here on the back side. Once you get it started, you can move it down onto a flat surface where it's easier to hold, easier to saw. Really, there's no rules on this. As long as you make a notch like this on this side and then a corresponding notch on the other side, you should be good to go. Alright guys, as you can tell, I've got my two notches here going down to the 2-inch mark. I cut those individually at an angle with the handsaw. Now, the easiest way to transfer these measurements over is you can use a tape measure and just transfer it over like this, or if you happen to have it doesn't even have to be an expensive combination square, a $2 or $3 combination square, you can just put that on the edge of your board and come across. And once you do that, it transfers those measurements over to this side of the board. And then you do the same thing on the back side. This particular combination square I'm using, I think I give, I don't know, $2 or $3 for it at the big box store. I wasn't fully impressed with the quality of it for building nicer furniture, but for a project like this or a simple home project, it works just fine. So then what you do is you measure down your same 2 inches. Draw a straight line between the two of them. And do the same thing over here. On this side of the board, sorry if I was blocking the camera there, it's a little hard to do that. Same thing, put a straight edge down, draw your line across there, go ahead and connect your lines up if they're not perfect, and then we will cut this side. Just like on the other side, we will connect these 2 lines for our angle, and we'll be good to go. Alright everyone, back. As you can tell, I've got angles cut on both sides of the board, 2 inches down, or 2 inches in from the edge. And remember, this is going to be our back piece. It's going to go on the seat like this. The next step is to get these chunks out of here. We want to clear out these 2 notches where we cut in. The easiest way to do that is with a chisel and a hammer. Maybe not the easiest way, the most inexpensive way. So what you do is you take and you relieve a little pressure on the back, like so. And then you come in from the opposite side, and you will notch out a little bit. As you can see, it gives us a recess to start chopping down the notch with. So, I'll work my way down. I believe this set of chisels that I have here, I paid $2.99 for at Ace. It was a Black Friday thing. Really inexpensive. I'm not too careful with them. It's not like they're fine chisels, but they're good enough for most of the projects I've been working on lately. This kind of stuff, there's no need to buy the best. We're about halfway there. So as you can tell, it doesn't take long when you're working with soft woods, a pine, to notch these out fairly quickly. There's the biggest chunk just came out on that one. Throw that away. And then we'll take our chisel going away from us, and we will pare what is left. That may involve cutting down the shoulder a little bit, like this. And then coming back in and smoothing out the bottom. Alright. One side down, time to do the other side. It's the same exact thing. Nothing complicated. I did forget to connect my lines here, so we better do that. And you do it the same way. Alright, as you can tell, both my notches are cut and we are good to go with the back. Now, the next step we need to come up with is how do we get legs and a seat in this thing? Well, that is made fairly simply by using the same techniques we just learned. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our seat and leg board and we're going to figure out, oh man, that's heavy. We're going to figure out sorry for all the wood in the camera. I'm thinking somewhere about like that. That leaves us, where did my tape measure go? That leaves us about 9 inches for a seat. I may bring it out just a little bit more. $12 inches for a seat? No, we'll go back a little bit. 10 inches for a seat. So we'll go 10 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark where the back is. Okay. Now we're going to disassemble this. And we're going to come in on that line 2 inches. And then we're going to go across the board 2 inches. And then we're going to transfer our 2-inch measurements down to the bottom. And then we're going to connect those 2 lines. Same thing on this side. And we are going to remove all of this in the middle. Now, if you have a jigsaw, it'd be a good place to pull that out and come across. If you do it by hand, you just have to cut them the same exact way we cut the other 2 notches. Alright guys, so here it is. The Viking chair. Now, when I first built these, I had some people question whether these legs on the back were strong enough to hold an adult. Trust me, they are. You have 1.5 inches worth of thickness here. It's plenty strong. As far as finishing goes, you could paint it a couple different colors. You could put your team's logo on it if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it natural. I may put a couple coats of Danish oil or something like that on it, just to be an easy wipe-on finish, or you could just use it the way it is and enjoy it. Thanks for watching and have a good evening.